I'm Paul Arthur. This is Forum Daily West. Here are some of the top stories we've been following. Israel braces for retaliation after what's being called a preemptive strike against Iran's nuclear weapon ambitions. The lone survivor of the Air India crash shares his remarkable story from his hospital bed. A new wildlife overpass is named after a former Alberta premier who envisioned what is today Kananaskis country. Thanks for joining us. Israel launched a wave of preemptive strikes across Iran earlier today, killing at least 3 top military officers in what appears to be the most significant attack the country's faced since its 1980s war with Iraq. Iran retaliated, sending a swarm of drones at Israel with its supreme leader warning of severe punishment. Israel says it intercepted most of those drones, but a subsequent ballistic missile attack on Israel did see a number of missiles get through the Iron Dome defense system, resulting in at least 58 civilians being injured so far, 2 of whom are in critical condition. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced today that they will continue their attacks on Iran as long as it takes to remove the nuclear threat.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says de-escalation must be the priority following Israel's strikes on Iran, and that Canada remains deeply concerned by the threat posed by Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile program. She is warning all Canadians in the area to exercise a very high degree of caution and follow the advice of local authorities. Anand made the comments over social media. And although she wasn't in the House of Commons today during question period, her parliamentary secretary offered these words.
It's important to remember always that Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to continue to make sure that it is safe and secure. At the same time, this government is committed to take action against the scourge that is anti-Semitism every day in our world. We will continue to stand up and defend Jews in this community to make sure they're safe. Thank you.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre also weighed in on Israel's attacks on Iran today on his Facebook page. Poilievre reiterated his stance on Israel's right to defend itself by reposting some comments he made last October.
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
Poilievre also called for all levels of government to take extra steps to protect Canada's Jewish community. Meantime, in Tehran, hundreds gathered on Friday to protest, demanding revenge and chanting anti-Israel and American slogans.
انتظار ما این هست که انتقام خون این شهیدان ما و دانشمندان مظلومی که در این حملات امروز هم شهید شدن گرفته بشه.
ما فریب وعده ها پای آمریکا رو نمیخوریم. ما دست آمریکا رو پشت این جنایت میبینیم.
We'll be right back with more news from Forum Daily West. U.S. officials say Israel told the Trump administration about their attacks on Iran ahead of time, prompting the U.S. to order evacuations of some non-essential embassy staffers and authorize the voluntary departure of military dependents in the region. President Trump is calling Israel's deadly strikes on Iran's nuclear program and military sites excellent. Indian investigators have recovered the digital flight data recorder, known as the Black Box, from yesterday's Air India crash, which killed all but one person on board. An expert says the black box should quickly show if there was a loss of engine power or lift after takeoff to allow a preliminary determination of the likely cause for the crash. The plane's black box was recovered from a rooftop of the hostel the plane crashed into. The lone survivor of the crash is now sharing his remarkable tale of what happened and how he survived.
वो मेरे नज़रों के सब सामने हुआ था. मेरे खुद को भी बिलीव नहीं होता कि मैं कैसे उसमें से जिंदा बाहर निकला, क्योंकि थोड़ा टाइम लिए कि तो मेरे को लगा था कि मैं भी मरने वाला हूँ.
ये जब फ्लाइट जब क्रैश हुई उस समय हॉस्टल पे लैंड की थी, उसी समय आप बाहर निकले थे?
नहीं, क्योंकि आई थिंक मेरे को जब मैं जो साइड पे था ना, वो साइड हॉस्टल पे नहीं लैंड हुई थी. हॉस्टल के जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर है ना, जैसे नीचे, वहाँ लैंड हुई थी. तो मुझे दूसरे के बारे में मेरे को पता नहीं, लेकिन मैं जहाँ लैंड हुआ था ना, वो नीचे की साइड थी. तो जब वहाँ थोड़ा पेस भी था प्लेन के जब बाहर, तो जब जैसे मेरा डोर टूटा ना सब, तो मैंने देखा ना जब सामने कि थोड़ा इधर पेस है, मैं ट्राई कर सकता हूँ निकलने के लिए. तो मैंने ट्राई किया निकलने के लिए, तो फिर मैं निकल गया उधर, क्योंकि अपोजिट साइड पे था ना, वो बिल्डिंग का वो था ना दीवार, तो उधर से कोई शायद नहीं निकल सका होगा, क्योंकि उधर पूरा उधर ही क्रैश हुआ था. मैं जो जहाँ था वहाँ ही थोड़ा पेस था. फिर भी मेरे पता नहीं मैं कैसे बचा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे नज़र के सामने ही सब दो एयर होस्टल वो अंकल आंटी सब उधर ही सब.
आप पैदल चल के आए वहाँ से निकल के?
हाँ. और थोड़ा जब आग लगी ना, मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड भी जल गया थोड़ा. फिर एम्बुलेंस मेरे को उठा लेके इधर आया हॉस्पिटल में.
Ramesh's brother was also on the flight but did not survive. The Federal Conservative Party has introduced a motion in the House of Commons calling for the government to recover funds paid to ArriveCan contractors and subcontractors who in fact did not do any work on the ArriveCan app. The issue came up again today during question period.
Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General confirmed what we already knew. $64 million was handed to a two-person company with no proof of work done. No security clearances, no deliverables, no competition. This was about enriching Liberal insiders, not about serving Canadians. So, Speaker, I ask, will everyone in this House stand with taxpayers and vote for our Conservative motion to get Canadians their money back?
And certainly taxpayers are owed some answers. This company has been referred to the RCMP and legal action is underway. We've also ensured that they can no longer enter into any contracts with the federal government for 7 years.
The motion requests that the government recover all funds paid to these contractors within 100 days of the motion's adoption, and that the Prime Minister presents a report proving that taxpayer funds have been repaid. This motion comes amidst scrutiny of the ArriveCan app and concerns about overspending and wasted taxpayer money. A wildlife overpass on the Trans-Canada Highway on the northern tip of Kananaskis country has been named after a former Alberta Premier. The Honourable Peter Lougheed Wildlife Overpass is located near Lac des Arcs, about 35 kilometres east of Canmore. Devin Dreeshen, Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors, says naming the overpass after Premier Lougheed is a great way to honour the man whose vision helped create Kananaskis country in the first place.
In 1977, Premier Lougheed was invited to take a helicopter tour of what is now Kananaskis country. He was so impressed that he saw that his PC government soon created Kananaskis country to preserve the breathtaking landscape, rivers, streams, and waterfalls. Today, Kananaskis country covers 4,000 square kilometers and includes 5 provincial parks, along with recreational areas and ecological reserves. So it is fitting to name this overpass on the northern part of Kananaskis country in his honor.
Construction of the wildlife overpass began in 2022 and was completed in the fall of 2024. It's hoped the overpass will prevent some of the roughly 70 vehicle-wildlife collisions that happen on that stretch of the Trans-Canada every year. When we return, we'll have more of the top stories from the West with Forum Daily West. Lethbridge police have made the largest seizure of fentanyl in the city's history. On Wednesday afternoon, while responding to a drug complaint in a downtown parking lot, police found a man and woman in a vehicle. The woman had outstanding warrants, which led to a search of the vehicle. Police located a sawed-off shotgun, approximately 1,100 grams of fentanyl, 120 grams of cocaine, 58 grams of methamphetamine, and nearly $10,000 cash. In addition, the male was carrying more drugs, several knives, and a baton. The total street value of the drugs seized is $372,000. 48-year-old Sherry Lynn Hopkins and 48-year-old Mark Edward Tangway, both from Lethbridge, are facing a long list of drug and weapons charges. Hopkins was scheduled to appear in court today. Tangway was released from custody and is scheduled to appear in court August 7th. Weeping birch trees in Lethbridge are reportedly dying. The city says due to multiple factors such as age, disease, and climate, many of the weeping birch trees planted 50 to 60 years ago are showing signs of decline. They estimate there are 750 weeping birch trees on public land.
It's a tough place to be a tree around here. And the weeping birch seem to be particularly susceptible to our temperature extremes that we're experiencing in the past few years. So age is a factor when it comes to many of our birch trees. Yes, they are aging out, but there are still lots of younger ones that are seeing the same kind of decline. They are native to Europe and Western or Eastern Europe, Western Asia kind of area. So they do prefer a cooler and wetter climate. Through the magic of irrigation, we were able to get a lot of these trees established. But once they start experiencing these harsh environmental conditions, it enters them into a decline spiral. And once a tree is in decline, it becomes a dinner bell for pest species. There's a pest called bronze birch borer that exists in the boreal forest up north. It's generally a pest of our native paper birch. But that pest has found its way down into Lethbridge and all over Alberta and the prairies over time.
The city says they are no longer planting weeping birch and over time will replace those in unhealthy conditions with various other species, such as maples, lindens, oak trees, and honey locusts. Their main goal right now is to diversify the tree populations. The city of Lethbridge has unveiled a new mural near the Father Leonard Van Tighem School that was made with collaboration with experienced muralists and students from the school. The mural was created combining designs from 80 students during workshops with muralists from La Art. It took 6 days for the students and muralists to paint a pedestrian underpass that crosses under University Drive. The artwork serves as the city's youth engagement pilot project to pair young artists with professionals.
My experience with this mural project was amazing. I got to work with the kids and they did such an amazing job and they were so proud of their art, and it was so amazing to see them come up with the colors and the designs, and I'm just really proud of this school and everything they've done, and doing this project was one of my favorite projects I've ever done. It's awesome.
It was really satisfying to see their pride in the project and have them be a part of every part of the project as well. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, and just for them to know that what they do matters. You know, there's such little hands and little minds and little voices, but what they do is just as important as what we as adults do. So contributing creatively to this beautiful landscape, I think, is really, really important to us.
The city says this mural will serve as an informative experience for future public art program initiatives. The annual Lethbridge Farmers Market will reopen Saturday. Since 1971, the local fair has offered shoppers the opportunity to purchase fresh baked goods grown with at least 80% local ingredients. The market is held every Saturday from 8 till 1 p.m. in the UFA Hall at the Agri-Food and Trade Center until October 11th. Paul King-Smith, Director of Event Development for the Lethbridge and District Exhibition, says attendees can also enjoy food trucks, live music, and presentations from community partners.
A few different things that we're trying this year. Number one, this will be the third year that we're working in this building in the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center, so we're starting to learn the layout a little bit. Some of the vendors that will be in the main corridor here at the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center, as we try to make it a more cohesive experience, as some of those vendors are outside, some are inside. So we'll have our busker program going, which has happened traditionally with live music, but as well we're introducing some theme days. Some days we're celebrating things in the community, so things like summer solstice. We are having a quilting demonstration as part of our first market as well. We have bakeries and we have cheese makers, we have wine makers, and then we also have hot food options.
In addition to the Saturday fair, the Wednesday Lethbridge Farmers Market, produced in collaboration with the Downtown BRZ, will be open from 9 till 2 in Festival Square from July 2nd to August 27th.